Hey guys, welcome to the stream. This is Arriagada coming to you live from Lake St. Martin First Nation. We're here today for the continuation of day 2 of the 2024 snow drags. We had a little bit of a misconnection earlier with the internet, so we're coming back into this now, and we're now officially into the finals of the 600 mod. I'm good whenever now. I'm good. We're live, everything is good to go, and we were having a little bit of issues earlier, but it's all good now. 600 modified, final 4, Dean Klatt, Dominic Cantafio in lane number 2. Dean Klatt is in lane number 1. Lane number 3, we have Brett M, and in lane number 4, we got Gowan M's. Racers are on the line, signal guy is at the signal post. And, well, camera guy's at the camera. We're ready to go. I am the camera guy. In case. I don't want you guys to think I've been having this hard of a time with 2 people here. It's just me. I think we solved the problem for now, and then we're going to try things out in the summer, and hopefully the solution that I have will work, and then everything will be a little bit smoother when it comes to the production side of things. They're doing a great job as far as how the races are running, especially because they were running behind and they caught up, so everything's been going good their way. But as far as the streaming side of things, they're not familiarized with streaming, and I am, so our timings are different. And now I think we have an understanding, at least for today, so we're going to be pretty good for today. What we're going to do is we're going to only have the names for the final 4 of each division, and every other race, we're just going to have the races. That would allow me to focus just on the race and not miss some of the races, which I missed some of the races on the last stream because I was typing in names. So now we're going to have it set up a little bit more organized. And then moving forward in the future, we're looking at making things a little bit more organized yet, where we can see things directly. And I think everything will work out really good. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and at the beginning of each division, instead of having all the names up like I do right now, like 1 and 3. I don't know who got third place though. They got to figure out 1, 2, and 3. They'll tell us here on the radio. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce all the names of the racers at the beginning of each division, so that way at least you guys know who's all racing in that division. And then when we get to the final 4, we'll do it. I think he said 1, 3, 2. So it'll be in Dean Klatt, Brett M, and then Dominic Cantafio. I'm gonna go get a screenshot of the next race or the next racers, and I'm gonna confirm that this is how it was finished. I'll be right back. All right, so they're getting everybody set up over there. This is now the 700 stock. The current two-time champion for this one is Brad Beardy. He's racing today too, looking for a third title 3 years in a row. And the first set of racers, we have Jerry number 2 on lane number 1, Sterling Catchaway in lane number 2, Team Tate in lane number 3, and JD in lane number 4. Next up in the batter's box, the next 4 racers are going to be Brad Beardy in lane number 1, Wayne Nana Kawap in lane number 2, team number 271 in lane number 3, Jesse number 601 in lane number 4. The other racers we got also waiting for their turn to get in there. We'll do that right after this race is done. Look like 4, 3, 2, but only 2 of them are going to go on. We'll get confirmation here on the radio right away.
4-3.
4-3, yep. That was correct. So JD and Team Tate will move on.
Yeah. Which is this 700 stock? Okay.
All right, so next up on this one, on heat number 1, it's Brad Beardy in lane number 1, Wayne Nanakoap in lane number 2, team number 271 in lane number 3, and Jesse number 601 in lane number 4. Next up after that, we'll have Sonny Amo on lane number 1, AJT number 1 on lane number 2, Chris Shaw on lane number 3, and Liam M. Liam M in lane number 4. Other racers that we have waiting here for their opportunity to race. Percy Houle, Hayden Black, AGT number 2, JP Bernari, Terry Beardy, Team Grinch, DT in brackets, Ryan Apetagon, Dominic Cantafio, Carter Eastman, Gowan Ems. These guys are about to race right away. Jamie DeJarlis, C2 Racing, Dean Cladd, and Stuart Beardy. That's all your racers for this one. Right now we got Brad Beardy in lane number 1, Wayne Nanakawa in lane number 2, number 271 in lane number 3, and then Jesse number 601 in lane number 4. Number 4 is the one that's closest to our screen. Number 1 is the one that's furthest from our screen. You can figure out 2 and 3. But just in case you can't, 2 is just a little bit right next to number 1. So further away, and 3 and 4 are closer to us. The riders are all set. Signal guy is about to give them the signal. This is 700 stock. Returning champion, 2-time champion, Brad Beardy, sitting in lane number 1 wearing the orange. He'll be looking to qualify in this one, at least qualify to get into the next round to have a chance to be able to defend his title. Looks like 1, 3, 4, so it'll be 1 and 3.
Got it.
1 and 3. Brad Beardy will move on to the next round. A chance to defend his title is still on the line. Next up in the batter's box, or in the racer's box, we'll say, Sonny Amo in lane number 1, AGT number 1 in lane number 2, Chris Shell in lane number 3, and Liam Mesomove? I can't. I'm going to go with Liam M in lane number 4. I try to pronunciate the names, but I don't want to butcher them any more than I already did. So I got to go see this guy here, because he needs to know that we're setting up for... Oh no, Brad's going to do the trigger on this one, okay. Racers are set. Waiting for the go-ahead.
Oh, 3.
2 and 3, we'll move on that one. That was AGT number 1 and Chris Shaw that moved on. The next race we got coming up here in heat number 1 is Percy Houle in lane number 1, Hayden Black in lane number 2, AGT, sorry, in lane number 3, and that's AGT number 2. And in lane number 4 we have JP Benani or Barani or Benari. One of those 3. It's hard to make out the reading, but it looks like it's Benani. Not sure what's holding up the race, but something's going on. They might be waiting for a racer, maybe. They're about to go. He's getting on the signal. And they're off. Look like maybe 4 and 1 there. Waiting for the confirmation. 4 and 3s. So AGT number 2 and JP Benani are moving on. Next up, we got a group of 3.
Was there only 3 canoes?
Yes, there was, yeah.
There was only 3, but there was supposed to be 4, so I'm not sure what happened there. The next 3 racers are supposed to be Terry Beardy, Team Grinch, and Ryan at Pentagon, but they might also include JP in there if he wasn't there. Oh, thanks, man. I was just thinking about something like this like a couple minutes ago. Yeah, thanks, man. There's only 3 racers. Lane 1 will be Terry Beardy. Lane 2, Team Grinch. Lane 3, Ryan at Pentagon. Close race. Look like maybe 1 and 3. Two and 1, my bad. So Team Grinch and Terry Beardy will go through. Next up, we got Dominic Cantafio in lane number 1, Carter Eastman in lane number 2, and Gowan Ems in lane number 3. Looks like the racers are set, and we're about to get going here on this next set of 3. Dominic Cantafio in lane number 1, Carter Eastman in lane number 2, and in lane number 3 we had Gowan Ems.
3-1. Got it.
Gowan Ems and Dominic Cantafio will move on to the next round. And the next one we have is a race of 4, and it's Jamie DeJarlis in lane number 1, C2 Racing in lane number 2, Dean Klatt in lane number 3, and Stuart Beardy in lane number 4. This is to get into the second round of the second heat. Racers are just getting set right now. Something's going on. They're not quite ready yet. Signal guys going to the post. Don't think the racers are ready yet. Jamie DeJarlis in lane number 1, C2 Racing in lane number 2, Dean Cladd in lane number 3, and Stuart Beardy lane number 4. And they're off.
One.
3 and 1 moved on, so Dean Clatt and Jamie DeJarlis. All right, so we should be getting set here for heat number 2 of the 700 stock division. See Brad Beardy getting his helmet on there. I believe he's going to be one of the racers on this one. Looking for a chance to defend this title for a 3rd consecutive year. Well, technically defend this title for a 2nd consecutive year to win the title for 3 years in a row. Needs to make it out of this heat for him to be able to get into the final round. Looks like he's going in lane number 3. They're getting the signal to go ahead, and they're off. So close.
Four.
3 and 4. So it looks like Brad made it through to the next round. He'll have a chance to defend his title. Got one more, I believe one more set of 4. That'll give us a final 4. These guys are off. Three and 1. Yep, it was 3 and 1. All right, so I'm gonna have to do the typing in now. Get this set up here for the final 4. The Grinch in lane number 1. Terry Beardy in lane number 2. Lane 3 is Gowan M's. This is another heat, not a final 4, it's a heat. They're at the lineup. It's a race of 3 racers. Top 2 will make it through. And they're off. Looks like 1 and 3. The Grinch and Gowan M's, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. 3 and 1. Jay Delaquiz, welcome to the stream. You're very welcome, man. Next time around, it'll be better. I promise. We're going to be more prepared for the stream side of things. Dominic Antafio. Dean Cladd in lane number 2. Lane 3, Jamie DeJarlis. Lane 4, Percy Houle. This is now heat number 2, so this is to get into the final 4. I just stepped away from my station and they raced, so I just missed it. All right, so I believe this is going to take us to the final four, but I'm going to wait till they let me know. All right, so this isn't the final yet. And I thought Brad Beardy got a chance to go defend his title, but not yet. He has to win this one to get in. Looks like he's setting up on lane number 1. Got 3 racers almost ready. They're getting the signal to go ahead. And they're off. I don't think Brad made it in this time. We're going to find out right away.
3-2.
3 and 2, yeah. So Brad didn't make it and he was in lane number 1. He will not have a chance to defend his title for a 3rd year, or for a 2nd year, I mean. Two racers coming out of the next race, and that's going to give us our final 4. They're getting the signal for the go-ahead. And they're off. 1 and 4 make it through. So I believe that's going to take us to our final 4 now, which I'm going to do the typing for this one. All right, so these are your 4 racers. This is the final 4 of the 700 stock. They're calling the racer from lane number 1. Not sure what happened there, but they're calling him up for some reason. So the final 4 of the 700 stock is JP Bonani and lane number 1. Team 271 and lane number 2. Gowan M's in lane number 3 and Dean Klatt in lane number 4. Final 4, so top 3 make money. 1,500 for first. I gotta go look at this again. This is 700, so 1,500 for first, 1,000 for second, 500 for third. After that, we'll have the 700 improved and the 700 modified. Then we'll move into the 800 stock and improve the modified. Something's going on. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're addressing whatever's going on. I don't know why people are walking on this ramp. When you see that shaking, it's from the people walking on the ramp. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. They're still calling lane 1 over. For those of you that are watching both on Facebook and YouTube, YouTube, I'm kind of interested on the quality for you guys that are watching on TV. But for Facebook and YouTube, those that are watching on TV, how is the quality of the camera? I'm still on the fence about these cameras. I'm not sure if I like them or not. I know that my other camera is way, way better quality. But these ones are supposed to be top line, so not sure. I need your guys' opinion. Those of you that are watching, let me know what you think. While we're waiting for this race to get started, it is the final 4 of the 700 stock. They called JP over. Not sure what happened, but as soon as they get that resolved, they're going to start the race. Those of you on YouTube, Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. I know you guys usually only tune in for pool, but this is my personal page, so I stream anything and everything that I do on my YouTube channel. Brittany Jacobson, how you doing? Says quality is good today. Okay, right on. Is it better than yesterday, you think? YouTube is blurry, not clear. If somebody else just racing around. So sometimes the settings on the YouTube channel could be adjusted. If you go to the little wheel, the cog, you'll hit on there and I'll give you an option to change it from 720 to 1080p. And the other thing is sometimes, there's two other things. Sometimes the signal on your end is going in and out, so you have to exit the stream, come back into it. And other times it's from the signal here because we're using a Starlink system. And the Starlink system for internet usually dips. There'll be some dips here and there, sporadic. So it could be a combination of either or both. But I had one person on YouTube say that it was a good picture.
Jacob, JP Pinoti on grade 1 to Bradbury.
I'm not sure.
So the line goes Bradbury, 271, please, and Deep Park.
All right, so that's what was going on. There was, I guess, a dispute on that last race, on one of the races, and it looks like it was the decision was overturned. So the original decision was it was JP that qualified for this one, but it's Brad Beardy that qualified for this one, and they were in the same race, so must have been something like a false start or something like that.
Are you there?
I am, yeah. So
Okay, thank you.
Team Grinch is also another one that changed here. Gowan M's is not there. It's Team Grinch. So that's what was going on. Why they called a couple of races over. All right. So Team Grinch. We'll redo this again. This is the final four, the 700 stock. Brad Beardy, two-time champion, in lane number 1. Team 271 and lane number 2. Team Grinch and lane number 3. And Dean Klatt in lane number 4. So that was two names that got changed on that final four. They have multiple video feeds, not just the stream, but other people recording too. So I think they have somebody at the start line and somebody at the end line. They're off. Final four. Top 3 make it. Looks like Brad was in the lead, but maybe 2 got up there. We'll find out right away. Did Brad get his 3rd title?
One, 4, 2.
So 1-4-2, Brad Beardy will indeed win a 3rd year in a row. Dean Klatt will finish in 2nd, and number 271 will finish in 3rd. Congratulations, guys. So now we're going to start the 700 improved. 3 times. I said it, yeah. 3 years, he says. 3 years. The champion. Still a champion. All right, I gotta go find out what the list of racers are for the next one. I'll be right back. All right, so now we have the 700 improved. That's about to get started. And I'll go through the list of the racers that will be racing in this one. We're only going to have the names of the final 4. In the first set of racers here, we have Mark Hilderman in lane number 1, Rylan Wazelik in lane number 2. Oh, they got Arriagada. I missed the race. All right, well, that's okay. One slipped. Only because I was calling out names. We'll find out who made it through there. But that was AGT number 1.
Got it.
I didn't hear the names, but I heard 2. So Rylan made it through. And I'm not sure who else the other person was that made it through. AGT number 1 was in lane number 3. Jerry number 2 was in lane number 4. So now we're going to go into the next set of racers for the 700 improve. We have Sonny Amel in lane number 1. Jamie Travers in lane number 2. Garrison number 111 in lane number 3. And Jesse J, it looks like, number 601 in lane number 4. And the racers box, or the batters box, we have Shannon Ross, Clarence Travers, number 33, JP Benani, and number 271. After that, we'll have Bryce Monick, Liam M, AGT number 2, and Terry Beardy. And the final 3 racers for this division will be Dominic Cantafio, Gowan Ems, and Dean Klatt. So we just had Mark Hilderman, Rylan Waselik, AGT number 1, and Jerry number 2. Now we'll have Sonny Ammo in lane number 1, Jamie Travers in lane number 2, Garrison in lane number 3, and Jesse in lane number 4. Start telling them to get ready to go. So we're going to have a race right away. Yeah, careful. Leo says, I just cast a stream from my phone to the TV. The picture is clear. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback on that. All right, so they're about to get started here. Sonny Amo, lane number 1. Jamie Travers, lane number 2. Garrison, in lane number 3. And Jesse J in lane number 4. All right. Gonna move on to the next set of racers now. It's Shannon Ross in lane number 1. Clarence Travers in lane number 3. Sorry, lane number 2. JP Bernani in lane number 3. And 271 in lane number 4. Just waiting for them to get the go-ahead. They're getting the go-ahead now. Looks like 3 and 2. I think they were supposed to have a 4th racer, but they didn't have the 4th racer on this one. I wonder if they're going to bump them over to the next race or if they just disqualified them. So one of the things why Brad Beardy got back into the race was because the guy that beat him to get in the race was racing with the wrong size engine. So he got disqualified because of that. And then when they go through this qualification process, the way it always works is the next person that finished in the next spot will be the one that gets awarded that spot. And that's how it worked out for Brad Beardy. And for the Team Grinch one, I'm not sure what happened, but I believe it was a false start from Gowan Ems. But don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it was. I better not see this on Wikipedia that I quoted that. All right, so they're getting the next racers on the line. It's going to be Bryce Monick, Liam M, AGT number 2, and it's supposed to be Terry Beardy in lane number 4. But I see 1, 2, 3 racers on there. So maybe they're not putting Terry Beardy on this one. Maybe they'll put him on the next one. They just called Terry Beardy, so he's in lane number 4. They're giving him the go-ahead. All 4 racers are on the line. And they're off. Next up is Dominic Cantafio, Gowan Ems, and Dean Klatt. Only 3 racers for the next one. This is to make it into heat number 2. And then after that, if they need a heat number 3, there'll be a heat number 3, and then the final 4. So if something else happened there on one of the races, they're making the correction right now before it gets a little bit further ahead.
He came first. What's the name? Number 4. Okay, yeah.
Somebody's waving people down. I'm not sure what's going on, but the racers aren't on there yet, so we're waiting for them to get set up. We got the racers just starting to line up now at the start line. So we'll be starting the next race soon. This should be heat number 2. Find out right away who it was that won.
Did you say? 1 and 3.
1 and 3 are the ones that made it through.
3.
Oh, and one guy's cruising with a GoPro too. Cool. All right, I just wanted to zoom in a little bit more. Just to make sure we get some better footage here as we're getting closer and closer to the halfway point of the day. This is still heat number 2 of the 700 improved. Next up will be the 700 modified. The lean, mean machines, the ones that go zoom, zoom as fast as they can. All right, we got 3 racers on the line. They're about to get going. They get in the go-ahead. This is still another race from heat number 2, I believe. They call that 3 racers for this one. I wasn't ready. I was away from the camera, so I didn't catch that too good. Apologies for that one. Getting close to the final 4, but not there yet. So we did the 600 stock, 600 improved, 600 mod. Racers are starting to get ready. We did the main 550 fan and under, ages 17 and under, the 600 stock, the 600 improved, 600 mod, 700 stock, and now we're on 700 improved. Up next is 700 mod. Then we'll start with a 800 stock, 800 improved, 800 mod, and then the final races of the night or the day will be the 900 stock, 900 improved, and 900 mod. They ended up having the local shootout last night, and they had the 200 stock and under last night also, which was for the youngins. They're getting the go-ahead. They will start their race right away. Can't see what happened there because of the snow. Should be into the final four now, I believe. The payouts for today for each one of these divisions is the same. First place is 1,500, second place is 1,000, and third place is 500. Yesterday they had the 1,000 stock, the 1,000 improved and modified. They had the open class head-to-head, which was the big one. 5,000 for first on that one. Second was 4,000. Third was 3,000. They had the big boy 600, 700, 850 stock. And they had a local shootout. Lots of fun. The event went on last night. Last year when I came out for this one, they only streamed until it was, or they only ran the event and streamed until the sun came down. Once the sun came down, it was over. But last night it was nice. It was beautiful out. They were kind of running behind, and they had a couple of things to make up. So they decided to make it up, and it was cool. It was a later night, but it was a lot of fun. Tonight, this one, well, we're at 6 o'clock. No, we're at 4 o'clock now here in Lake St. Martin, First Nation. Sun will go down by like 6:30. We'll be close. We might be here till like 7:30. Definitely colder today than it was yesterday, though. Even though my computer says only -5 right now. It feels like -15. This is still one of the heats, one of the qualifiers. They give them the go-ahead and they're off. Looks like lane 3 was in the lead. Lane 2 came in second. Three and 2 will go through. Oops. That was me. Usually it's other people that are kicking the tripod, but this time it's me. And I didn't kick it that time. I'm just trying to adjust it. Okay, give me a second, then you can shoot out the names. You can go ahead. All right, so this is the final four of the 700 improved. We got Mark Hilderman and lane number 1, team 271 in lane number 2, Dean Klatt in lane number 3, and Dominic Cantafio in lane number 4. Top 3 get paid.
Right, 3 winners. First, second, and third.
Top 3. Chief Travers here in the crowd. Didn't race today, but he was racing yesterday. Final 4 coming up. The signal is up and they're going to be off. Top 3 get paid. Oh, that was some action there at the end. Looked like one was in the lead all the way through, but then it looks like they lost the lead 2/3 of the way in.
Four, one, three.
So Dominic Cantafio in first place, Mark Hildeman in second, and Dean Klatt in third. That's going to take us now into the 700 mod. It's getting really cold in here. I think this thing ran out of heat. I'll be right back. All right, so missed our last race. This is now the 700 modified. Cold in here. The heaters went off, so I had to go and get them to get the heater going, and the heater's still not going. And I'm trying to prevent the equipment from freezing and stopping. So that's what I was trying to take care of while I missed that race. My face is starting to harden up a little bit. It's funny. Try to talk, it's almost like freezing. All right, so we're in the 700 modified now, and the first racers we just had was Gowan M's, Robin Wasilek. Oh, it looks like he was removed. Robin Spence, Ben Struby. They have Clarence Travers in there, Dean Clack, Chris Shell, Brett Nahemiak, and Dominic Contafiel. My guy flew. Not sure what happened there, but I'm pretty sure they're not racing solo. But that was fast, man. Fast, zoom, zoom. All right, so the heat's kicking in now. It's working again. That's good. It was pretty cold in here. I was getting worried about these cameras. Fast, 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 fast. Some of these guys got like pit crews and everything, man. It's pretty exciting to be out here. And now we're going to see what they're doing is they're doing the 700 modified. They're going to do the 800 modified, then the 900 modified. So all the fastest ones are all coming up now. It's going to be tough to keep up with them because they're really fast.
One and three?
Yes, correct.
1 and 3. Sorry about the camera work here. I'm just trying to adjust because the camera is starting to freeze up from it being so cold, and so was the tripod, and it's getting stiff to use. So I have to rotate the tripod to where it's looser, and that will let me be a little bit smoother on the transaction. Or transition, I should say, not transaction. So that was 6 racers now. They have 2, 5, 8. They must have got down to 6, maybe. I'll find out right away, though. They'll let me know when we get to the final, which we'll be at the final right away because there isn't that many racers for this 700 modified. All right, so this is the final. There's nobody in lane number 2. They're playing for position here for top three spots where they finish up with it. I'm good whenever. I said I'm good to go whenever. So they gotta cool down their engines before they get going. Modified is good, I guess, because that's gonna give me enough time to be able to get everything written up and ready for the finals, and should be all right. I just have to pay attention to the signal guy now to make sure that I know when they're gonna start. Meantime, I'd like to give a shout out to one of my sponsors, Brock's Office Supplies for Your Business. Visit our website for great deals and savings at brocksoffice.ca. Brock's Office is located in Winnipeg, and they've been in Winnipeg since 2010. They offer great deals on a lot of different things, including furniture, office furniture, shipping supplies, office supplies. They also offer free delivery in Winnipeg and fast delivery. And they also give great shipping rates to people that are from out of town that are ordering for supplies or whatever it is that they need from Brock's Office. When you go to brocksoffice.ca and you scroll down to the bottom of their screen, you'll see that they have some featured items that will rotate, every week or every 2 weeks. They'll change different items on there that they'll bring up for a special. And their prices are competitive against anybody locally and against companies like Amazon, Staples, Walmart. They do pretty good as far as their pricing. And if you go check them out and you end up ordering something from them, let them know that you heard it from Rod Arriagada. I'm proud to be sponsored by him, and I'm pretty sure he's proud to be my sponsor. He knows I take a lot of pride into the work I do, just like they do. Looks like they've cooled off the engines and they're about to get going for this one. Round of coffee's being passed around for everyone because it's kind of chilly out. Only 3 racers on this one. The racer in lane number 2 had to pull out. So in lane number 1, we're gonna have Robin Spence. Lane number 3, we're gonna have Dean Klatt. And in lane number 4, we'll have Brett Nahimiak. Looks like they're almost ready to go. They're going to get the signal. And they're off. So they finish in a 3-2-4 position. Dean Klatt in first. There was no 2. Yeah, there was no 2. 3-1-4, okay. So Dean Klatt in first, Robin Spence in second, and Brett Nahimiak in third. Congratulations, guys. Now we're going to have 800 mod. I'm going to go for a walk so I can go find out who the racers are for this one, and then I'll take a picture of that and we'll introduce the racers before we get started on the race. I'll be right back. If you guys are enjoying the coverage or enjoying the races, by all means, you guys can like or share the stream. I'll be right back. All right, so we're now moving into the 800 mod. We have Jesse Spence, Sonny Amel, Gowan M's, and Team Grinch DT on the line. This is fast races, so I'm gonna have to punch in the names after. I was gonna punch in the names now. I'll just tell you guys who's racing here. Lane number 1, Jesse Spence. Lane number 2, Sonny Amel. Lane number 3, Gowan M's. And lane number 4, Team Grinch DT. Lane number 1 is the one furthest away on the screen. Lane number 4 is the one that's closest to the screen. They're giving them the go-ahead. Top 2 make it through.
Two, three.
A herniac. All right, they're calling the next set of racers up. This is for the 800 modified. Lane 1 will have Chris Shell. Lane 2, Robin Spence, number 1. Lane 3, Brett Naherniak. And lane 4, Bushish. They're just getting the snow ready here for the racers. Racers are getting lined up. We'll take a minute before we get started. Well, that guy, I'm not sure why he went off, but he might have just been testing. Might have been just testing. After that, we'll have Lance Burwash, Robin Spence, number 2, and Mark Hilderman. They're the next racers. 11 racers for the 800 modified. Looks like they're almost ready. Lane number 1, Chris Shell. Lane number 2, Robin Spence, number 1. Lane number 3, Brett Nahermiak. Lane number 4, Bujesh. Looked like it was 3 and 4 to me. My call doesn't stand though. They got a guy at the finish line recording the finish as well. This is heat number 1 of the 800 modified. So Brett Naherniak and Bujesh made it through on that one to the next round. Now we'll have Lance Burwash, Robin Spence number 2, and Mark Hilderman racing. This is just another guy testing, same guy. He's probably in the 900 mod. That's going to be coming up soon, right after this, so we're all done. Right now we're in the first heat of this one, and we're going to move into the second heat after that. Then we'll have the final 4. I think what they're doing is they're gonna, I'm pretty sure, they're gonna do the modifieds now, and then they're gonna move the track up 50 feet, or is it 50 meters somewhere? Yeah, I think it's 50 meters. And then from there, they're gonna have the stock and the improved for the last 2 divisions, and that will be that. Just 800 stock and improved left, and 900 stock and improved left after they're done with these 2 modified divisions. I'm thinking, my mind's going off. Is there somebody else testing right now? Let's just calling out everybody out here. I figured instead of use, I have 2 cameras, and I had 1 camera at the finish line, but I'm never using it. So instead, I'm going to use it at the start line for you guys to be able to see this. And of course, because I did that, they ended up racing, and I missed the race. Oh man, I swear to God, I'm being tested today. Patience is key. 3-1 went through on that one. Mark Hilderman and Lance Burwash. You see here, they're just resetting the snow. It just called the next set of racers. I wonder if these guys that shovel get paid by anyone, the racers or the organizers. I'm assuming that this is each racer has their own person, kind of like a caddy. Instead of having a caddy, you got a guy that takes care of the snow for you, make sure everything's good for your start. If not, that's the way it should be. Guys can build a reputation off that one. I'm the best snow shoveler guy in the race in Manitoba. Look how I move my shovel, man. Uniform. They're working hard at it, though. You can see there, a guy in lane number 3 is really trying to get things leveled out there. Another guy's helping them. It's important that they have a good startup, a good setup for their startup. All right, so we got 1, 2, and 3 getting set up here. 3's right there. They're gonna get the go ahead. It looks like they moved up the line. They already moved up the line. Just waiting for them to be ready. This is heat number 2 of this 800 modified. The signal is good to go. Light's gonna get green and they're gonna go. Here we go. Three and two.
For Sunny, pointer.
Getting close to that final 4. One more race here in heat number 2, and they'll take us to the final 4.
900 stop.
What's that? One more race before the final for the 800 knot.
Okay.
These guys are about to go. All three are a go. So that should take us into the final four now. All right, so that's your final four coming up here in the 800 modified division. Brett Naherniak in lane number 1, Gowan Ems in lane number 2, Mark Hilderman in lane number 3, and Lance Burwash in lane number 4. All right, they're giving the engine some time to cool off, so they're almost ready to get going here. This is the final 4 of the 800 mod. Brett Maherniak in lane number 1, Gowan Ems in lane number 2, Mark Hilderman in lane number 3, and Lance Burwatch in lane number 4. Ooh, I couldn't keep up with them, man. They're just too fast. All right, so now we're going to move into the 900 mod, and they'll do a couple of heats, and then they get into the final 4 as well.
Why number 2 jumped?
Oh, they're saying number 2 jumped. I don't know if it's a redo or if they disqualify him. So it was 1, 3, and 4. That's the way it finished. First going to Brett Herniak. Sorry. 2 jumped. Mark Hilderman took 2nd. And Lance Burwash took 3rd. Now we're in the 900 mod.
Stop.
We're starting 900 stop now.
Okay, I'm going to be racing different, so the corner will be walkie-talkie.
What's that?
All right, so they're doing 900 stock instead now. And I'm assuming they're going to go improved after that, then mod. Then all that will leave behind would be the stock and improve for the 800. But maybe they don't have enough signups for it. Or maybe it's smaller. Like 8 or 10 people. I'm going to go find out the list of racers and confirm that this is for sure stock, because I thought they were going to do modified. And I'll be back. All right, so it is 900 mod that's going to be racing, not stock. And there's 8 people in this one, so 2 sets of 4 racers for this first heat. They'll have Wallace Ammo in lane number 1, Jesse Spence in lane number 2, Brett, I can't remember what I said, Herniak in lane number 3, and Bujish in lane number 4. So these guys are all lined up and ready to go already, so we're going to get set up for this race. Your head's probably going to be right at the finish line, because it goes right up to the end of the trailer. So they're waiting for something, but they're trying to get the go-ahead. Not sure what's going on. Something's going on back there. That's time to get ready to go. Signal is up. They get in the wave, and they're off. Lots of movement around here.
2-1.
2 and 1, so Jesse Spence and Wallace Ammo may get through. Next up is Gowan Ems in lane number 1. Is it Lance? Yeah, Lance Burwash in lane number 2. Mark Hildeman in lane number 3. Team Grinch DT in lane number 4.
So this is 900 mod first, or is this 900 mod?
All right, so there's your 4 racers on the screen. They're just getting set up before they get going.
After 900 mod, they're moving up because of the 800 stock.
Oh, so they're moving up one more after this.
34 racers on 800 stock.
I think this says something about 4 racers only for 800 stock, so that'll be a short one. They'll go straight to a final. Hmm. Still waiting for everybody to get set up. This event was brought to you in part by Resgal Lashes. Go check them out at resgal.ca. And also through me, Brock's Office Supplies for Your Business. Visit our website for great deals and savings at brocksoffice.ca. Nobody's lined up at the tracks yet, but it looks like they're trying to make their way there. Looks like they were just setting the snow. Racers need some time to cool off in between races, but this is the first race in this heat and in this division for these racers. But they raced in the last one, so you know. But that would have been different snowmobiles. I'm not sure what's taking these guys long now. Could be just because of setting up the snow there at the start line. I know they're moving the line forward, the starting point forward after this division is done. So maybe the snow is in really rough shape because it looks like everybody's trying to get this snow settled for the next race. And they're probably going to do the same thing on the race after that also. All right, so it looks like we got the signal guy at the signal point. Racers are now on the line.